Welcome everybody to a weekend edition of Wrestling Therapy. Of course, am your host, Suji, and the chair has been filled with one of my favorite guests and also my friend, Mr. 151, podcaster of At the Bar. See, I got it
Yep,
now.
yep, yep.
At the Bar, photographer extraordinaire. Um, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited. A lot going on. I just want to tell you real quick. I'm proud of what you've been doing. I like the wrestling. I like even the concept of wrestling therapy because wrestling itself, growing up, was my therapy. My male soap opera, my stress reliever. Like it played a lot. Or have a bad day, watch a good match.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My whole thought process on this was we all have takes that some people may not like, some people may like, some may be unpopular, but I just wanted to be able to have that conversation without the person I'm talking to feel judged. And
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, we got a busy week and well, not really busy weekend, but we have WWE Clash in Paris coming up on Sunday, the last pay-per-view of the Peacock era. Um,
Yeah,
let's start there. What do you think of this ESPN deal?
I am really not a fan of it. I love what I had on Peacock. It wasn't breaking my pockets. Got to see great pay per views. Um, I do know that they had another deal has been struck with Peacock that they're keeping Saturday night's main event, and they're also supposed to get like 4 pay per views or PLEs or whatever they're called now. Um, so, but I just kind of like that it just wasn't because I grew up in an era where you know, WrestleMania was $50. The other pay per views were maybe 30 and stuff like that. So it limited you the amount of time that you want to watch because, that's a lot of money. Adds up real quick.
I think between all the apps for the US is like $90 a month. Now, I mean, you can
Yeah.
get a VPN, which I've seen people advertise for, which I'm not going to sponsor until they decide they want to sponsor me. But VPNs are seeming to be the way to go. But
That's probably what I'm going to
I see,
do.
like, I know there's a couple guys in Canada, like they have everything under Netflix, and that's so much easier. Now it's like, what channel is Raw? What channel is NXT? What channel is SmackDown? Where's the pay per view? Um, my only concern for this upcoming PLE is I feel like this is just a punt PLE. We're just gonna get it out, get it done, so we can get to Wrestlepalooza. Um, what is your current excitement level for the last pay per view on the Peacock PLE? Excuse me, on the Peacock era.
um, I don't really. This is there's no really super duper build. There's nothing I like. There's no must see thing happening at this thing. Like I could literally miss it and still be cool. It doesn't feel like it doesn't have a big fight feel to me.
It
You
feels
know,
like it feels like they just trying to get this pay per view done.
yeah. I think the match with Seth should be interesting. Those old guys are gel together. The Roman match, it'll sell tickets just because it's Roman. Him versus Bronson Reed. Um, it'll be interesting because Bronson Reed has he did stuff with Braun Strowman. He's done stuff with Seth. Um, you know, is Roman going to put him over at this? If it does, then it makes this pay per view, this PLE on a higher tier, and then maybe something to watch. So a little bit of stuff like that, but Other than that, it's not like, oh my god, like it's not like, hey, Mania's here or Survivor Series and War Games and stuff like that.
Yeah. As of now, as of recording this right before SmackDown, there's 4 matches advertised. I know SmackDown's recorded early, has been already aired, and for the
Yeah.
um other parts of the world, but SmackDown will be on shortly here. So um, let's let's go over the card, and then I wanna also ask you another question afterwards to give me a 5 match Wrestlepalooza prediction afterwards.
Okay.
But let's start with what's happening now. Um, let's start with the Women's Intercontinental Championship. We have Damon Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella. What are your thoughts on this build and predictions?
Um, I think Nikki Bella came back to lose. I've never like outside of doing when they were doing Twin Magic and stuff like that. I've never been like a super duper Bella fan. You know, they were more Total Divas, a show that I would never watch uh, than anything. They were in the era of they were in the diva era, so it wasn't, you really didn't have women wrestle like how they wrestle now. Um, I just remember, when certain matches came on, especially a diva match. I mean, go to the bathroom or run to the store. And that's kind of, where like Becky Lynch, the Charlotte Flairs, like they do, they make you want to damn. That's a good match. The Baileys, that's a good match. Even Naomi with her character work, everything was just brilliant with it. Like you really, they've really put in work. I just don't see Nikki Bella as one of those people that maybe, have you ever said, damn, how'd you like that Nikki Bella match? We've never said those words.
To be fair, when she was the Divas champion, she came on to me as a believable champion. Now,
Yeah, but
that
look at
could
the
have been a
competition back then.
and that's what I was about to kind of say too. That could have been a product of who she was facing. I mean, AJ Lee was probably my favorite Divas champion. Uh,
Yeah.
but I if you were to tell me I had to watch 5 Nikki Bella matches or 5 Brie Bella matches, I'm gonna choose Nikki Bella 5 times out of 5. That's just my opinion. There's some people they love Brie Bella. What do you think of the build to this match?
I mean, she's been owned on the mic a couple of times by Becky Lynch. Um, and and that itself shows you that she's not on that level. I think this is a wasted match. I think we could have had her Becky fight somebody up and coming, maybe somebody even from NXT, um, that could have caused more interest.
Lash Legend.
I just
Lash Legend.
you know, yeah, Last Legend, um, or even Jada Parker. I don't like Nikki Bella, just doesn't do it for me. So you know, if we actually was the top 5 Nikki Bella matches, could we even answer
I need some time.
that?
And no shade, no disrespect, but I that's I would have to think. Now, if you ask me like Becky Lynch, that's a
you
little
know, you
easier.
the Becky Lynch, they headline WrestleMania.
I mean, also Sports Illustrated has said that Becky Lynch is the greatest wrestler in the world. I mean, it's not just us
Yeah,
saying it; it's Sports Illustrated saying it. I mean,
I mean, I wouldn't even know who Valkyrie was until she had fought Becky Lynch for the NXT Women's title.
you. The past few times I've had you on, you are not a fan of The Bird Woman, huh? I get it.
Yeah, yeah, she's garbage.
Okay, that's fair.
Hot garbage.
Fair
She's
enough.
hot garbage. That's my hot take. She's hot garbage.
You know, we all have hot takes, and I like that yours is yours. Honestly,
Definitely, definitely,
it's good. Okay, so you're going Becky.
definitely, definitely.
Okay, I'm also going Becky. We have Rusev versus Sheamus in a Donnybrook match. Your thoughts on this series and prediction?
Um, it's it's two big guys that's gonna beat the hell out of each other. That's entertaining in itself. Um, the thing is, Sheamus and Rusev after this match needs direction. Um, you know, Rusev was criminally wasted in AEW. I'm sorry, AEW fans. Tony Khan had shitty booking for Rusev.
It was Miro,
Miro,
the Redeemer.
the Redeemer. And only thing he redeemed was a paycheck as he sat on the couch for most of his contract. Um, so Sheamus is gonna bring it out of him. Um, in my opinion, I think Rusev should probably win. Has Sheamus won a Donnybrook match? I don't. Is there actual winner? I don't even know how you really win these matches. It's just a whole bunch of fighting and a whole bunch of wasting alcohol.
Oh, your connection seems to be
My God, please don't spill the beer.
a bit
But
laggy.
I would go with Rusev in
Not
this.
sure we can hear me at the
He needs
moment,
the bigger
but
push.
I
Um,
will continue to talk until we
he
get
needs a
the.
big win over a top guy, and I think that you know with Sheamus that could happen.
So I guess we had a connection issue, so I didn't hear your prediction for that.
Um, I'm going to go with Rusev. He needs a win over a top guy, and I think this is the match that it happens.
Yeah,
He needs a big win.
I agree. Um, I think I would like Rusev to win as well to transition over to maybe
Something different.
maybe an AJ Styles
Yeah.
or something like that. Maybe. Speaking of AJ Styles, he is going to be facing on Raw the greatest intercontinental champion ever and the greatest Mysterio, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Your prediction on that match? I know it's not at the PLE, but we could talk.
Um, I think it's transition. If they're smart, this is what they should do. I feel like they should transition the Intercontinental title over to AJ Styles, and then transitions that Mega Championship over to Dom. Dom will bring so much attention to that on AAA that it would be crazy. And he's not the greatest Mysterio.
I said, well, we said what we said. I have one better
You know,
for you. What if AJ Styles loses to Dom, and then Dom wins the AAA title, and we have double title Dom, and then Dom will win the AAA title his deadbeat father was unable to win. I like that. That sounds great to
well,
me.
here's the thing. Name me one match that Dom, since you say he's the greatest Mysterio, compared to Ray and Eddie at Halloween Havoc.
Anything with Dom and AJ, Dom and his dad. Hell, even the Dom and Seth thing back in the day when he was breaking in was pretty good. I mean, anything
That is
Dom and Seth.
comparable. Comparable. That's when Rey Mysterio ran up the ropes and came back down and DDT'd Eddie Guerrero.
I, I mean,
WCW Hollywood. He doesn't have a classic match like that.
he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to. When you're the greatest Mysterio of all time, you don't need to
Yeah.
do that high.
And until you get a great match, you're not the
Every
greatest.
match. Look, we're not gonna have this Dom slander here. That's not why we're here.
Until he gets a great match, you can't say he's the greatest Mysterio. You know how
Did you
many
not
great
see that
matches
fatal four-way match at Trip Mania? That shit was
did you?
banger. You would say that
He's
match
having
wasn't good? You would say that match wasn't good?
it wasn't great. It was good,
How
but
dare
it
you?
wasn't great.
How dare you? Moving on. Speaking of great, we have the OTC one apparently, which makes no sense, versus the shoe thief, the shoe falafa king, Big
Yo,
Bronson Reed. What do you think of this
up
deal?
first of all, I didn't know Bronson Reed was Samoan.
Roman Owens and then apparently is Samoan.
So I think this is a good matchup. I'm curious to see how it goes. My heart tells me Roman. However, Bronson Reed has picked up big victories over people like Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins. And even if he does win, he can still tsunami the hell out of him. Because then Roman will go away, make another movie, and come back, 6 months from now.
I'm gonna go. I agree with everything you just said. Roman doesn't need this win, especially with Bronson getting a shirt now with the shoe falafa and the shoe thief, all that stuff. I think Bronson losing it does nothing for Roman. But I think Roman's gonna ultimately win because it's Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Next,
And I think the next evolution for Roman, that's the one he'll pass the torch to, is probably going to wind up being uh, Braun Breaker when they have spear versus spear match.
that'll be I'm looking forward to that match.
And then Braun Breaker will climb to the top of the cell and spear him straight to hell.
Take them both out. Next we have the Maverick, Logan Paul versus Never Seen 17, Final Time in Paris, John Cena.
It's horrible as it's going to be at the Johnson is probably going to win. Um, but then again, I really don't want to see Logan Paul. Logan Paul is actually really good. Like. Um, but the schedule he has, he doesn't deserve the schedule he has because that's for people that put in work. I don't mind people like Roman Reigns showing up when they want to because he's put in work. Uh, The Rock coming when he wants to because he's put in work. Um, Dog, you had the U.S. title and they defended it once. You didn't put in work, but he's a great heat magnet. So and I guess that's part of the gimmick. Um, I think it'll be a good match. I would really love for John Cena to come out to the Doctor of Thugonomics.
That was my favorite version.
That was. Um, I missed that version. That's actually when I like John Cena. But you know, he'll hopefully he doesn't come out dressed like the Marine, one of the worst movies of all time. Um, but
um,
but I'll say Cena.
I'm gonna go Logan Paul
I can see that though. I can see that. I can see Cena giving him the rub.
because
Here's
again, he lost the
the
theory and he's lost the solo.
yeah.
I mean, what? Okay, what does a win for Cena do for Cena in the long term?
Nothing. But Cena's gonna lose. Cena is probably gonna lose to Brock Lesnar.
He's probably gonna lose the rest of his matches,
Yeah,
but it's not gonna matter. It's his career is solidified. I think a Logan Paul win does way more for Logan Paul in the future than a
it would.
Logan Paul loss. And he's not going to win clean because you could have Brock Lesnar come out, distract, and Logan Paul hits him with the knucks or something and picks up the win.
Hit him in his nuts
Yeah,
and hit him with the buckshot lariat.
which is better than Hangman's. Um, okay, so you're going Cena, and I'm going Logan Paul. Okay. And then I will presume is going to be the main event. It might be the opening match. We have a fatal four way for the World Heavyweight Championship. We have the Vision Seth Rollins versus L.A. Knight, yeah, versus CM Punk and Jay Uso. Who wins? Who takes the pin?
Uh, Seth is going to win. And who's going to take the pin? It's going to either be L.A. Knight or Jay.
What we need one concrete answer, sir. Not 50% of the match.
Yeah, let's say Jay.
Jay, okay, okay. Do you see, or pun intended, envision another member being revealed at some point throughout the night?
That's a good question. That's a possibility. I wonder who would. Oh, maybe Dragon off.
Exactly who I was thinking. Or
That'd be mean.
or
Ooh.
Tony D'Angelo.
Screw Tony D'Angelo.
You don't like Tony
I was
D'Angelo?
never. No. I mean, he's the average dude. There's nothing about him that screams, "Oh my god, this dude's a killer," and stuff like that. Um, like when I look at like Trick Williams or Oba Finley, I see star power. When I look at Tony D'Angelo, he's one step above a jobber to me.
Okay, fair, fair
He's like
enough.
he's 3 inches above Moondog Spot and 4 inches above Iron Mike Sharp.
Wow. Okay. I think it's gonna be LA Knight to take the pin. It doesn't seem like they really have anything of substance for him. He just lost on Raw on the go home before PLE. Um, they just don't. I guess they just don't see him with much star power.
Well, I mean, he's over and he's getting a good push. However, could he? I mean, Eli Drake was hot in TNA. But he was a bad guy, but he was hot. I mean, he had the little talk show. He was Mr. TNA for a while. Um, there's a lot of potential in LA Knight um, if he gets a run at the belt. But I don't know if it's his time. But the problem with that is his time is also running out because how much how much long we still got Gunther when he comes back. Eventually Braun Breaker is going to get that belt. Jacob Fatu's there. He's going to get that belt
Dominic
eventually.
Mysterio. Yeah,
Not going to get that belt.
yeah.
Um, you know, by the grace of God, somebody may be like, "Hey, Finn Balor, you've been doing wonderful work. Let's put the belt back on you for 30 more seconds so you can hold it 6 seconds longer than you did last time."
You get cashed in on.
Yeah.
Okay, and as of now, like I said, this is all that's been confirmed. We have on Raw. We also have Stephanie Vaquera. She's gonna. I guess they're gonna finally reveal who her opponent would be. Who Who do you think will face Stephanie?
Probably Oscar.
I like that.
That's the matchup that we need in life. Um, I'm gonna say this like this: Oscar is great whether she's good or bad, but I love fucking heel Oscar. Heel Oscar is ooh ooh. Is so is Hill Oscar is so much is so good. I actually put up with watching Kyrie Sane wrestle because I'm not a fan of 90-pound people that look like um, they couldn't hurt a fly. But she does weigh more than Rio from AEW.
Oh my god, like devastating. So we have Wrestlepalooza coming up in September 20th, 21st. As long as it's on a Saturday, we're fine. If Sunday, that's well. Typically WWE likes to do a 5-man card, so we're gonna go with a 5-man, 5-person match, whatever. Give me 5 matches that you predict will happen at WrestlePalooza. You don't need a prediction order,
Um,
just 5 matches.
it's gonna be it's gonna be Cody Rhodes and versus Jimmy Uso and who has the weaker pullout game.
Ah,
Congratulations, Cody Rhodes, on this new baby.
yes, that's true. Yes, 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 yes. And Naomi
um,
on being pregnant.
yeah, good job.
Good timing.
Um, yeah, good job. Bad timing. Um, we're gonna see Randy versus Drew.
Okay, for the title. Okay,
Not for the title, but
on time.
it's gonna happen. Drew doesn't have a title.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. I'm thinking Cody Rhodes. My fault. Continue.
I think eventually we're gonna before we get to Cody, we'll probably get Randy versus Drew. We'll probably get um, the rematch for the U.S. title, and we'll probably get the hopefully we'll finally get to see Julia defend the female women title she's been walking around with and not doing nothing,
Okay. Um,
which is sad because she's a really good wrestler.
she's really great, but they have a they WWE has this allergic reaction to booking foreign female superstars strong. I don't know what it is, but it's just like they're like FSA and accountability. They're like, man, book them strong. I don't know about
So you're saying that Hecky, your nephew, could never be booked as a strong female wrestler? Okay, all right.
that. I'm gonna hear about that one. I think for me, if I was to go with 5, I'm gonna say Brock Cena. Um,
Cena
Drew.
only has like 9 more dates left.
Yeah, but I mean that's their first ESPN show. Um,
Okay,
that I could see them trying to make this a important show. Um,
yeah,
I'm gonna go Randy, Drew, and Cody
yeah, you could do a 3-way. Yeah,
for the title. Stephanie versus whoever they decide to give her for the title. Um, let's see. Let's see. Seth
women's
versus
tag team match.
huh?
He's probably the women's tag team titles will be on.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Um, Seth versus CM Punk for the title, and Roman and Braun Breaker.
Yeah, and and Charlotte Flair versus Weight Gainer.
Ha! How dare you? Okay, so now a little off current topic. I want to ask you about commentators.
Yeah, let's go.
Who? This is a two-part question. Number one, who is your favorite commentator duo? And two, if you could fantasy book a 3-man commentary booth, who would you do?
Okay. So my all-time favorite, probably because I'm old, is going to be Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain. And then right behind them it was Taz and Michael Cole was really good. Um, and don't sleep on JBL. JBL was a
Oh,
great
man,
commentator.
I enjoy JBL as a heel commentator.
Great. It was great. He really made stuff feel big, like big matches and fights, and then he would just have that little insight that that would just stir things up and stuff. So I always loved JBL. I think Corey Graves is pretty good too. Um, and then what was the other part of the question?
If you can fancy book three commentators to run a show, who would you pick?
Um, I would say if I was doing now, it'd be.
Anybody.
I always loved Taz. I love Taz on commentary, so I would do Taz, Corey Grave, and who would be a good third one? Jim Cornette.
Hmm, okay, interesting. I like the different combination of styles there. I like Pat McAfee because he brings a comedy to it.
Yes.
Um, Another one that's underrated. I like Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore.
Yo, Wayne Burley is really great on commentary too. I forgot about it.
He does pretty good heel work as a commentator.
You know who was the dude that used to do NXT was really good
Oh,
too.
oh God,
Now he does boxing
I know
now.
who you're talking about. Oh God, not Rotunda.
What's the name? Monardo.
Mario
I can't. I
Ranallo.
can't.
It's like,
I think so.
yeah. He was really good. He was really good.
He's really good. He's really good. Um, I was always surprised that Joey Styles never made it bigger in the W. And then it could have been in part because of the King's bullying, but never made it bigger in the WWE because he would call some great shit in ECW, and a lot of times he was the only person. Sometimes he had people, sometimes he didn't have people, but he was still the way that he announced it would make the stuff feel very important. He put over the Taz mission like it was the greatest hole ever. He put over a lot of stuff, the Dudleys and all that other stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like commentary is very important to a match. It's like even like a
It
ring
felt-
announcer announcing a match. I've seen people shit on Samantha Irving because she cried during like when Cody won it. To me, it doesn't bother me because to me it adds to the moment.
Well, I loved it about that was that she was such a fan of the product.
Right, right. That's
Uh,
what I'm saying. Yeah,
anybody can commentate, but when you're a fan and you're invested in it, like there was a joint when I think The Rock or somebody came out and it gave her chills and she jumped and her reaction was the same reaction that everybody else had. Uh, and I thought that
genuine.
was dope. Yeah.
I like somebody who has a reaction to what they're seeing. Like I
Yes.
understand it's your job. I'm not saying you gotta go out there and cry after every win, but the fact that you put some emotion into what we as fans, as well as the person doing the job, is invested. It makes that moment feel more special.
That's true. I got a question for you.
Okay, I like questions.
Is it too much wrestling on TV? Like the last weekend, it was like 3 pay-per-views in one weekend. And that's not the first time that has happened. And that's not counting the other stuff that we don't even hear about. See, like the New Japan stuff, the TNA stuff, and the NWA stuff. Is there such thing as too much wrestling?
Yes and no. No, because you have the option as a consumer to consume what you want to watch. Now, yes, in a sense where you have companies like WWE actively trying to counter program AEW, but they don't look at AEW as competition, but you're actively trying to put shows against it, which I could feel like could hurt the product in the long run because it's like okay, we have all these PLEs, but none of these stories are building. You go from one story to another to another to another to another to another with 2 or 3 weeks to build, and then you have a card. You're just like, ah, I don't like this. What about you? What do you think?
Um, I think it makes it not as fun. Um, I remember the excitement of going between Raw and Nitro, but I also remember it became a headache after a while. You know, um, I think the exhibit once said, "Too much of anything can make you an addict,"
Yeah,
um,
that's true.
and you can lose the fun in it where you're like, well, damn, I always have to choose one. Like as a wrestling fan, it shouldn't be it shouldn't be the Biggie CD or the Tupac CD. You should be able to get both whenever you need to. Um, when you got the gun at my throat and I have to choose WWE or AEW or stuff, it just takes it creates opportunity, but it also takes away from just sitting back and enjoying it. And then we live in a different world too now where we do e-feds and all this other stuff, and then it can be annoying when you're like, well, damn, I'm trying to watch this. I can't even concentrate on this because I gotta look at a point spread for three different matches from three different pay-per-views.
I I
So
have to ask Victor.
it,
I'm like, is AEW got pay per view this weekend? Like, yeah, I, you know,
like we just came off a weekend with a pay-per-view, and we got another pay-per-view coming this week.
yeah, yeah. And then I think the next one's gonna be like September, but that's when AEW is doing their pay per view. But WWE's like, hey, we're gonna do ours, and then you still got AAA that WWE has
Yeah.
their hands in, and TNA that WWE has their hands in. I was talking to the last guest I had, Bree. Me and her was talking, and I was like, man, like WWE every year has this roller coaster of interest in programming. Like when it gets to football season, I feel like everything just kind of like
Well,
stays
well,
like
that's the thing with and this is and I think I don't know, I think Hurt said this, and it made sense. Well, the WWE's biggest competition is not AEW. WWE's biggest competition is the NFL because that's who they battle on Monday nights. That's when their numbers actually go down.
I'm glad you brought that up because I saw a report that in September, which is soon, that I believe 3 of the 4 or all of the Raws are going to be an hour earlier to see if their numbers will do better.
Yeah,
I, with,
makes sense.
and I'm like, if I was WWE, I would come on at 6.
So
I will come on at 6 o'clock on Mondays. 6. Usually the show is not 3 hours, so it's going to be over
yeah,
by
they should never do a 3 hour show again. That's numbing.
it's going to be over by 8, a little before 8, and then you don't have to worry about the NFL.
Yep.
But trying to
Um,
break the NFL, that's tough. People are going to watch like me. I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch football. I'm going to watch Raw on Tuesday. Like that. I'll catch Raw later.
we have to talk about this as black men too. Let's talk about the racism in wrestling. Let's talk about the whole Rampage Sun incident, Raja Jackson incident.
Where
Uh,
you want to start?
so I'm gonna tell you like this: so many things have failed in this. The first thing that I would say like this: Raja, how he handled that situation was wrong. However, you do not, and the part that they don't show, and they showed that instance where he slammed them and the 22 punches and stuff like that. So the part that they don't show is that you know he was slapped in the head with a cane, and that you know that right there would upset anybody. Granted, dude apologized. Then they told him he can go get his receipt. Similar to how when Brock Lesnar gave a receipt to Braun Strowman when he kept hitting him stiff. And wrestlers used to do that all the time. However, that guy is not a wrestler. He's an MMA fighter. He does not pull punches. His job is to get in there and knock people out. Um, I just feel like when we talk the narrative of what happened, they constantly leave out um, him getting slapped with a can. Um, and some people are like, oh no, they did talk about it. Not the way that can footage came a lot after than the initial knockout footage. And um, I just felt he was wrong for doing that. And then I think the promoter got fired, or somebody said that he was the scapegoat that told him, "Oh well, you can go get your receipt," and he went up and got his receipt. Um, it's just it's not a good look for MMA. It's not a good look for wrestling. Uh, but that type of behavior has gone on for a long time. Um, somebody I was listening to one podcast this morning, and they were like, I think because Mark Henry said, "Well, he got slapped by a bottle," and it was like it wasn't a bottle, it was a can. Like that makes it even fucking better. Somebody took a object and slapped it in your face. Who's not going to be mad?
Okay, so here's what I've gathered out of this incident. The guy, the wrestler Stu, apparently
Yes.
he was under the assumption that uh, Rod Jackson, was a wrestler, was a worker. The can that he was hit with was a gimmick can. So Stu's impression was, oh, this guy's another worker. So when he hits him with the can, he was like, why aren't you selling? The can didn't hurt. Okay, fine. He a miscommunication as to begin with already. So then there was footage of them shaking hands, apologize, just like cool, whatever, right? Let it go. Apparently, his boy, Jackson's boy, was there, and they was on a live chat, and they was egging him on, calling him a bitch because
Ooh.
they didn't know that this was a work. What they were doing was meant to be a work, but the work was not communicated down the chain. So while he's sitting there, his boy is recording him, and he's like, "Yo, they calling you a bitch, man. Yo, they calling you a bitch. Like, you won't let that man do that to you." And they kept egging him on. He's like, "Look, I'm gonna go hit him." That's when he goes and hits him against his receipt. Now, the receipt thing. When I was wrestling, if somebody stiffs you or hits you harder than it should on purpose, there is a receipt. That it's expected you're gonna get hit back. In his world, in Jackson's world, the receipt there is no receipt. You're always hitting each other as
Always in the yes.
as hard as you can. So in his mind, well, I'm gonna get my receipt now because I'm not gonna be called a bitch in front of people. Problem with that is, I think his Rev Pro was the Fed, which is Rikishi's Fed,
Yeah.
and apparently he Jackson was a WWE ID guy.
Well, Red Pro um was also one of those people was one of those federations that were uh under that WWID banner, I believe.
Yes, that's what I was saying. So I'm like, for me, it's like Jackson let a miscommunication cost him and the company. Me personally, like I understand Stu's point of view. Like, okay, like this guy's a wrestler. Like, if me and you were face to face, and like we're both wrestlers, right? I saw you outside, and I chopped you in the chest. You'll sell it. Or if you chopped me in the chest, I'll sell it. But it was a guy we don't know. We think is a wrestler. We chop him in the chest, and he gets mad. Well, whose fault is that? That's the promotion's fault, and that's the guy who did not communicate to him fault.
That's true.
Um, to hit somebody that many times, he's already gone. He's already knocked the fuck out.
He was knocked out of the slam.
My problem was why wasn't there anybody from the back immediately hitting the ring? When a
Oh,
fan jumps when I was wrestling, if a fan decided that they wanted to jump into the ring, they was gonna get their ass kicked.
however, how quick are you to jump on a person that's a mixed martial artist?
I,
That's Rampage Jackson's son.
if okay, I'll use this as an example. If me was in the ring and he was doing that, I'm jumping in immediately because I am trying to protect you.
Yeah,
I'm not going to sit there and let this guy beat the shit out of you
yeah, but I think
because
like
regardless of we're in a match, but you want to go home, I want to go home, so we can come back and work again the next day.
so because some people might have just got scared because they like, well, this dude's kind of crazy, and I'm not saying, but if I'm not giving away out. I'm just saying like when you realize that so and so's kid or that dude's a professional, this people get hesitant.
I get that, but would that stop you from protecting somebody? If you was let's say it was like you and Crew was in the match and somebody jumps in, you'd be jumping on that person to get them off. Like
Yeah,
yo, like
but not every. But we can't apply, and I say this to other people all the time. We can't apply our integrity to other people's integrity, and because when we look at what we would have done versus what was done, you know, not everybody has the same type of integrity or heart that you may have.
that's true. That's 100% true. It's an
So
unfortunate situation because he could go to jail for this situation.
he could, he could, he could. Um,
He cost himself some
and,
money.
and
He cost the company money.
I will say this, and he might need a little jail time for this because that was a lot of punches.
It's
That was 22 punches. He was clearly out off the slam, and that was 22
I,
punches. So
I could have been cool, and not even really cool, but if he would have slammed him and he would have been knocked out and he would have left it alone, all right, cool, okay, that
yeah,
shouldn't have been in the ring in the first place. But due to the situation that happened earlier, you know, you knocked him out, shit happens. Maybe I can make a story out of this to make some money in the future.
and I think they were trying to make a story out of this, and it just went horribly
But
wrong.
he got egged on because he couldn't handle that a bunch of strangers was calling him a bitch, while those same strangers calling him a bitch are living their regular life. He now has to deal with potential charges and more.
Yeah,
And at the end of the day, it's not worth listening to a bunch of motherfuckers who don't give a shit about you.
so here's the crazy thing too. So another Fed had picked him up, and now they lost their WWID status.
See, see, people need to start thinking before they acting and stop letting a bunch of motherfuckers who have no influence in your life influence.
Don't it? And the only sad part, I ain't saying only sad part, but one of the bad parts about that is so a lot of these people, when you go to wrestle, your dream is to get to the big league. Like how people want to get to the NFL, people want to get to the WWE. So when you have a small league and you have affiliated with that, it's always that chance that you can go there and get picked up. Now you can't even do that because of an incident that you weren't even a part of. You, a lot of people going to lose that chance because they they basically took their ID program away from them.
Communication would have solved all of this. If they would have brought him in the back and been like, hey, this is Rampage Jackson's son. He is not a worker. He's an MMA guy. Hey, Rampage Jackson's son, do you think would you be cool if we did an angle here before the show to get people kind of buzzing and then communication? This wouldn't have happened.
You have to say, are you cool with getting hit?
Right. And I understand, like I said, from the guy Stu's point of view, I can understand just going with it because you think he's a worker. I remember, well, I'll end this here shortly. I remember I had a match and there was a guy in the back. I didn't even know he was there. I get out of the match, so I had the towel over my head and I didn't see him and he chops me out of nowhere hard. And I'm like, but I knew he was a wrestler. So I wasn't like upset, but it was like somebody you don't know and they just hit you. I mean, being pissed is an understandable statement, but know where you're at.
That's true too.
Know where you're at.
So,
If you was out in the street, different conversation. You're in a wrestling
ring.
environment.
Yep. So, quick question
Yes.
before we end this:
Hmm.
have you in the ring and during your ring time? Did you ever give anybody a receipt?
Yes. There was a match I had. This is the second match of the day and second building, and I don't even remember the guy's name, but he was upset about something, and he has me in the corner. He's like, "Give me with the shoulder thrust," but he's like trying to put his shoulder through my body,
God dang.
like, and he's like a little, kind of a little this guy. He's just like he's trying to hurt me. So he comes in for a splash, or whatever, and I kick him in the face hard.
Ooh.
I'm like, and so he kind of like backs rocks a little bit. He throws a punch. I hit him with a forearm, a stiff forearm, and 10 seconds later, there was like two guys in the back that came out and separated us. It didn't like, I mean, it didn't even get to the point of where how that Rampage Jackson thing, which is what the part that makes me mad. I'm like,
That
our
no one
match,
stepped up to serve.
right? Like our match, somebody saw our match was getting ready to go off the rail. Quick in the ring, let's stop this before this gets to a situation that need to. This guy jumps the barricade, slams him, and hits this guy 21 times, and nobody.
22.
Why wasn't wrestlers from the back coming out there to separate them?
Yeah.
I understand the referee. Okay, fine.
So what you're basically saying is failure on multiple
Yes,
levels.
multiple levels. That as soon as he would have jumped the ring, there should have been somebody standing at the top of the fucking ramp. Especially if they weren't privy to him jumping the barricade.
Yeah.
As soon as he got in the ring, bam, there should have been somebody in there to stop that shit. But that is what we have the time for today. Is there anything else that you would like to shout out or vent or plug any of your upcoming events?
Uh, this weekend, hopefully, I'll start working on the other podcast. Can you beatbox? Tomorrow, I'm supposed to be. Hopefully, we sent me some songs. We're looking at some locations and some ideas. I might be shooting a video tomorrow.
Nice.
Because of course, I just, who can sleep? Why sleep? And then looking forward to October. We're supposed to be going back to Toronto, and I'm supposed to be going to LA. And then next month we're supposed to be going to Ohio to go see that '70s show. No, I'm supposed to be going to Cleveland, Ohio for a showcase.
Okay, man, you are busy, busy fella. As I told you before, you are one of the most active people out there trying to do something, and I respect that because it takes the
Well,
want to do something and to care about it and actually put the effort to do it.
I will always say this: you got to have a passion and you got to have a hobby. Um, and we get caught up in this 9 to 5, and and that's cool because it pays the bills and stuff. But if you're not doing something that you love, you're not doing something that expands your creativity, then you're not living. Um, I refuse to go to bed miserable every night. Um, I love getting out and just enjoying things, and I surround myself with people who test that. So find stuff to do. That's why I give you kudos on the podcast because it's something. One, people think podcasting is easy. It's not. And two, it shows. It gives you something to express that creativity side. Like the fact that you were a wrestler shows that that was something creative. Now that you're not doing wrestling, but how can you still tap into the culture? You do it on your podcast, so that's a great thing.
Thank you, and I want to thank you for taking the time to sit and talk wrestling with me. I appreciate you as always. Definitely get you back on again to discuss more interesting and controversial things because that's what we like to do.
Always,
Controversy
always.
creates conversation.
True indeed, true indeed.
I am Wasuji, and the chair is now will be empty, and there will always chairs always open for anybody that wants to join. Follow at Wrestling Therapy on YouTube. Follow Mr. 151 on all his socials. If you want some good photography work, some musical stuff done, some podcasting, Mr. 151 or Raheem will be the man for you. I am done.
Yeah, definitely.
Stay safe and always remember that the greatest Mysterio ever is Dirty
Rey
Dominic
Mysterio.
Mysterio. We're going to cut that Rey Mysterio part out there. Yep.